Hey everybody, Mr. G here. Welcome back to Just Corvette Crazy. As you can see behind me, it is winter time. According to the thermometer up on the wall, it is about 18 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 9-ish degrees Celsius. So it's kind of cold. The cars are inside, nicely warm, tucked away for the winter time. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about projects for the spring. So things that we want to tackle. So stay tuned, lots of exciting stuff coming up.
Hey folks, this is Mr. G and welcome to Just Corvette Crazy. On this channel we talk about Corvettes, we fix some Corvettes, and we love to drive our Corvettes. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. Thanks.
Alright, so here with the C3, the 74 Stingray, what the plan is for the spring. So I noticed that there is a small leak around the thermostat housing. So I think I'm going to take this opportunity and replace the intake manifold as well as the carb. So what I'm going to do is pull the originals off. I think I'm going to go with Edelbrock. The car already has a mild cam in it and has headers, long tube headers. So I think to get a little bit better airflow, we're going to go with a performance intake and a little bit higher flowing carb. It still has the original Quadrajet. I think we're going to step that up a little bit and get a little bit better airflow. Also going to put on some custom valve covers. So these original, or these ones that are on the car when I bought it, these Morosos, I'm going to pull them off, and I think I'm going to do up a set of custom aluminum valve covers and just kind of dress up the engine bay a little bit. So when I do it, I'll do belts, and I'm going to do hoses, kind of dress things up, make it tidy, and it's going to be fun. Now the other thing I'm thinking of doing is when I bought this car, they were never installed, but I did get a set of side pipes. So what I might try and do is do a side pipe installation, and then if everything goes according to plan, I hope to paint the car by the end of the year. So I'm going to try and keep it yellow. I like the yellow, but I'm going to put a nice fresh coat of paint on it. Maybe some black racing stripes, we'll see. But I'm really looking forward to doing some work on this car once the spring arrives. Something new in the garage. When the pandemic started, almost a year ago now, my mother, 83-year-old lady, came to stay with us to make sure she's nice and safe. So at Christmas time, my mother bought me a new toolbox for the garage. So I've got a 40-inch Husky toolbox, and I was looking at a different one, a larger one, but I decided to go with this model, and also I'm waiting for a bench top version of the chest as well that matches to put beside it. So rather than going with a 52 or a 56-inch toolbox, I decided to go with the 40, and then I'm going to get a 52-inch side bench to go with it. So just a new addition to the garage. Thanks, Mom. All right, under the cover is the O2 Z06. It's the C5. And got some exciting things going on with this car, I think, for the year. As long as the pandemic allows us to do so, I'm going to take this car and I'm going to do some track days with it. I want to do autocross with it. And I also want to do one of the high-performance driving schools. So that's my plan, but in order to do that, I need to do a few modifications to the car before I do that. I'm going to do some brake work. I am going to put 4 new tires on it, because the tires, even though they seem to be doing fine, they are quite old and the rubber is getting hard. So going to lose traction really quickly on a road course. But the big thing that might interest you folks the most is I am going to put some new valve springs. I have been doing some research, and I found that the early Z06 C5 models had some valve springs that were subject to failure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off valve covers. I am going to replace the springs on the heads, and there's a tool that you can purchase to allow you to do the valve spring swap without removing the heads from the engine, so we're going to do it that way. And I'm undecided yet on which springs to replace it with. The springs that are in question are the yellow springs that came from General Motors in these LS6 engines, the early versions. They now use the blue version of the spring, which I guess doesn't have the failure. So that's one option. The other option, I was looking at the PAC, I think they're 1218s, they're racing spring. They're about a little more than twice the cost of the stock springs from GM. So I haven't figured out exactly which one I'm going to go with yet, but we're going to be doing that, so stay tuned. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of brake work just to improve the braking before I take this car out on the track. So I'll probably put some stainless steel lines on it, some new pads, possibly some new rotors. We'll see what condition these are in once I take them off. And then I'm looking at the possibility, if I track this car on a regular basis, look at the possibility of putting in a race seat. I know that the stock seats are not that great. There's not a lot of lateral support, so I might go ahead and do a seat swap. But I'm going to get the rest of the stuff done first, take it out on the track, do some autocross, and then make the decision on whether or not I want to do the seats. So, some exciting stuff going on in the shop, and one of the other things that's really, really big right now that I have huge plans for is actually building a new heated workshop so that I can work on the cars in the wintertime, because as you can see, it's still quite chilly out here, and on very cold days it's difficult to do any kind of work for any length of time, especially with the tools on your hands freezing. So my plan is by the end of the summer is to have a new shop built on the side of the property, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. So lots of new stuff. So if you like what you see, subscribe. It helps the channel out. Nice to see some comments coming in on some of the videos that we've posted already. Keeps us motivated to do some more for you. So again, stay tuned. Just Corvette Crazy. Please subscribe. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you soon.